Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Ma'am Connie. And to everyone who has an access to this discourse, my name is Wilkin Villaflores, and I will be our group's representative to discuss our output for the PBL lesson plan in science, together with Ms. Serrano, Ms. Chodoro, Mr. Vertadaso, Mr. Vibar, and Ms. Villanueva. Let's start. For the basic information, our group has decided and chosen the science topic, population growth and carrying capacity, under grade 10, and it has a time allotment of 45 minutes per session in a total span of a week or 1 week. So the content standard and the performance standards are derived from K to 12 science curriculum guide, and um, this 1 week or this span of a week allows our students to have a sufficient time for inquiry, for experimentation, and application. So the content and performance standards guided the lesson towards understanding ecosystem limits and the role of adaptation in species survival. This section includes what learners are expected to accomplish by the end of the PBL session. So our group has crafted the three intended learning outcomes or the objectives which progresses from understanding to application. So first, the students are tasked to differentiate population growth and carrying capacity. So pag sinabi nating population growth, it is the increase in the number of organisms at a specific time or over time. Samantalang pag sinabi natin carrying capacity, it refers to the maximum population an environment can support. And then for number two, they are to justify the relationship between population growth and carrying capacity. And for number three, lastly, they are tasked to design an online campaign via social media applications supporting ways for adaptation and survivals of species. So in this third objective, we want our students to apply their learning by designing an online campaign that promotes adaptation and survival of species, connecting science concepts to local and real-world environmental advocacy. So to give you all a gist or the reason why our group has chosen the topic population growth and carrying capacity, it is because it is rooted in the Philippine setting. It reflects the realities in the Philippines, and it shows how human activities like deforestation, industrialization, pollution, overfishing, and climate change has threatened biodiversity and disrupt ecosystems. In this way, students are tasked to identify local species that are either increasing or declining in number and propose ways communities, especially their barangays or within their families or individually themselves, can help maintain ecological balance. So this context makes the problem meaningful and relevant to students' lives. As for the driving question, how can communities in the Philippines manage population growth and carrying capacity of local species to ensure biodiversity is sustained despite human development? So the driving question, it serves as the central guide for inquiry throughout the lesson. It asks how Philippine communities can manage population growth and carrying capacity to sustain biodiversity despite human development. So this open-ended question encourages students to think critically, to investigate within their locality and provide solutions and discuss rather than simply memorize facts. So why this problem requires scientific understanding, or why do students need to learn this in scientific way? So we believe that population growth and carrying capacity are important concepts, for they are ecological concepts that depend on resource availability, environmental conditions, and species interaction. So through science, it helps students explain why populations grow, why populations are stabilized, or why populations decline, and how human activities affects these processes. So by understanding these principles, students can make informed decisions and propose sustainable solutions that balance development and biodiversity conservation. So how are we going to conduct the various learning activities? So in the first phase, problem analysis, our group wants to activate the students' prior knowledge with the use of images and short videos showing overcrowded cities, deforestation, and endangered species. So in this way, students identified what they already knew about populations and resources and listed what they needed to learn, such as the meaning and difference between population growth and carrying capacity. They also generated investigable questions about population limits, adaptation, and ecosystem balance, So basically, this phase will prepare our students for deeper inquiry in the succeeding phases. So for the second phase, for the investigation and inquiry, this phase focuses now on hands-on exploration, and our group has or found a simulation online called PhET simulation, specifically the natural selection simulation from PhET. We also designed an activity sheet where students are able to manipulate environmental factors like food availability, the presence of predators, and climate to observe changes in population size over time. At the same time, students will record data in an observation table and answer guide questions to analyze trends and justify the relationship between population growth and carrying capacity. So, in this phase, we are allowing our students to foster collaboration. At the same time, we integrated technology, and lastly, we provided a rubric for them to be guided and ensured that learning was inquiry-based and evidence-driven. So this phase supports the first two learning objectives. So the reasons why the second phase supports the first two objectives is because the simulation visually shows how population increase and environmental limits, helping students easily distinguish population growth from carrying capacity. For the second bullet, by changing food, predators, and climate, the manipulatives, and the other factors, students get to see how the same factors influence both population growth and carrying capacity. And for the third, hands-on manipulation helps students analyze how population growth changes in response to limited resources and environmental conditions. And lastly, real-time data shown like the graph below allows students to observe when population growth slows down or stabilizes, reinforcing carrying capacity as an observable ecological limit. So now for the third phase, the synthesis and solution development. In this phase, students applied their scientific understanding by creating an online awareness campaign about endangered local species. So dito napapasok yung third objectives natin na gusto nating pagawin ng campaign, social media campaign yung mga students. So the group are required we are requiring our students to integrate concepts of population growth and carrying capacity and justify their solutions using evidence from the simulation, from the lessons they learned, and provide local examples. So the third phase demonstrates application of scientific concepts because of the following. So for the first bullets, the students will be able to apply these concepts to local species and situations. It will be localized within their surroundings. Students get to understand and see it for themselves the various reasons or the emerging effects and help them explain why species within their locality decline and even in the Philippine context, on a national context, using scientific principles. The second bullet, students get to justify their ideas using evidence from the simulation and local examples or data demonstrating evidence-based scientific reasoning. And also, students get to propose localized and realistic solutions that address environmental problems being observed in their surroundings, which shows practical application of science. And lastly, students get to communicate scientific ideas in simple and engaging formats that are relevant to their community, which demonstrates science communication skills. So lastly, for the formative assessment plan or the different assessment strategy, for the first objective, we think of a Venn diagram because for objective 1, students are about to differentiate the concepts of population growth and carrying capacity, and Venn diagram is the most appropriate tool to use because it checks students' ability to differentiate the two concepts. And for objective number 2, we want students to justify and provide reasoning skills. Hence, the think, pair, and share is the most suitable one. And for the third objective, the students will create a social media campaign. We decided to make use of the draft review as a formative assessment strategy because it evaluates the accuracy, the relevance, and creativity of the online campaign. So these assessments focus on understanding, reasoning, and application rather than recall alone. So yun yung pinaka-gist ng formative assessment plan. It explains how learning is assessed throughout the lesson through Venn diagram, think, pair, share, and draft review. So that's it. That's the last part of this presentation. I hope um, to everyone or to anyone who has an access to this video presentation, you get to learn or get to understand our group's PBL lesson plan in Science 10. So, yun, I hope and I wish you all a great weekend. Thank you so much po.